Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video, and in today's highly requested video I'm going to be taking you over this, my setup tour for making YouTube videos, doing client work, video wise, and also a little bit of gaming. I'll link all the products I talk about in the description below, but as always do make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. But let's get straight into it. I'll start off with what is easily the most important and dependable part of this setup, this big ass fan. Now, I'm sort of half joking here. I got this a few weeks back during the 3-day British summer heatwave, and it's been a lifesaver ever since. I've got my big windows open now, but I'm absolutely boiling with all the computer equipment in this room. It gets super hot, and it's just been an absolute lifesaver. Next, let's take a look at the chair I'm using. It's from Omega Racing and is their Evo XL model. It's a fantastic chair with great lumbar and neck support for prolonged periods of editing and gaming, and is super comfortable. I've reviewed loads of Omega's awesome products previously, and I'll link them all in the cards section here, and just such good items. Now, they've also given me a 5% off code which you can use throughout the whole of their store to get yourself a bit of a discount. So thanks to them for that. It's code GEEKA, as you can see here. Just enter that at checkout and it's happy days. Next up is the monitors. Now, these are only 1080p, as you can see behind me, which some people might, not be too impressed with. However, they're very colour accurate, which is really important when making videos, to make sure they look as good as possible on as many devices and platforms as possible. Their IPS have fantastic viewing angles, which is important when you've got two of them like this, and they're also quite affordable with nice thin bezels to provide a more seamless experience between the two of them. They've got a 75Hz refresh rate and support AMD's FreeSync over HDMI. One thing you'll notice about these monitors is they're both sitting on these Duronic arms, which I've had for well over a year and a half now, bought them both myself, and they allow for really good manoeuvrability and mounting of these monitors, and also maximise on the desk real estate that you can use, because you've not got the stands there. You can line them up to eye level for better ergonomics. All that sort of stuff just makes these a great buy. On the right hand side of the desk I have a microphone from Focusrite. It's their CM25 model and comes bundled with their fantastic Scarlett 2i2 preamp. This is needed to take the microphone's XLR cable and convert it to a digital signal which the computer can interpret and understand. It's fantastic. I bought it last Christmas to the end of 2015 and have used it since. You're listening to it now. The microphone, like the monitors, is sitting on an arm. It's Rode's suspension boom arm, their PSA1. It's an absolutely fantastic product. Once again, clears up room from the desk. And I've also got a shock mount and pop filter on here to try and isolate the microphone as best as possible and maximise on the sound quality of recording I can get out of it. They're super cheap accessories but make a huge difference to the quality of audio that you get out the other end, and I'll even put those little bits in the description below. Now, in terms of peripherals, I've been through many iterations of these and finally settled on this combination that I've been really enjoying using. The keyboard is Cooler Master's MasterKeys Pro M. It uses Cherry MX Blue switches, although you can get other varieties, and provides a nice small form factor without sacrificing that number pad. I thought I was going to hate these Cherry MX switches, but have come to love them, from their tactile feedback to a nice light actuation force. This keyboard is an absolutely fantastic choice and can highly recommend it. In terms of the mouse, it's sitting on a QPad mouse pad and is from Creative. It's their Siege mouse, their first ever mouse offering to the market, with 3 RGB controllable zones, a slightly larger size than you'd find typical, but really good ergonomic performance with a decent amount of buttons. I absolutely love it. Moving to the left slightly, on the top of the desk, we have a 4-port USB 3 hub from Aukey, which they kindly provided, which just keeps everything out of arm's reach from the case I/O and allows you to plug in loads of other accessories. I've also got Anker's USB 3 card reader plugged in here, which is super reliable, never had any issues with it, and allows for pretty fast transfer of files from my SD card from my Panasonic Lumix GH5. On the desk, I've also got Amazon's Echo Dot, which I recently featured in a smart home tech video, which can be viewed in the cards section now, and I've absolutely loved it. It's got great integration with platforms like Spotify and also my other smart home tech products. That nicely brings me on to the second smart home tech product in this setup, and you can see it lighting up the back of the desk. It's actually an LED strip. It's from a company called Xiaomi or Xiaomi, I can never quite remember the name, but has Alexa integration, works with an iOS and Android app, and is much brighter than the typical 4-pin LED strips that you'd see. It's a little bit overkill, but it's just a really nice thing to have. It's also got a physical button to turn them on and off, which I can demonstrate by simply walking back to the side of the desk, hitting the button, and it will turn the LEDs off just like so, which I think is a really nice thing to have at quick arm's reach without having to speak to Alexa. Also on the desk I've got a battery charger for my GH5. It's always plugged in and always has a spare battery fully charged docked on it to make sure that if I'm recording videos like this and this battery dies, I can walk over to my battery charger, take the battery out, plug it in, and put the camera battery on the charger, and always have a battery that's full. The battery life on the GH5 is very good anyway, but having something at arm's reach and always available is very important in situations like this. Now, the battery charger sits nicely under the 2 monitors, and I quickly wanted to elaborate on why I've only gone for 2 monitors as opposed to 3. I went for 2 monitors purely because it opens up more space around this alcove, like shelved area. It just makes the setup much brighter. 3 monitors is great, but it's also very consuming to the space that you have, and I think 2 monitors is a good balance between productivity and also, shall we say, screen real estate. To the right of my monitors, next to that Scarlett 2i2 preamp I mentioned, I've got Creative's T30 speakers. They have Bluetooth connectivity and NFC options, but I do of course use these wired with my computer and Echo Dot. Now, before anyone says anything, I know they're not in the best place for optimal sound quality, but they sound good, they're in an arm's reach, and they just look quite nice there, so I don't really care. And that really is the end of the story. In terms of what headphones I'm using, you may notice on the desk I've got this headphone amp for ASUS Centurion 7.1 headset. That's their true 7.1 surround sound gaming headset, which I'll link my review of here. It's very expensive, but a very good product nevertheless. In terms of general audio listening, I also use an ASUS headset. It's their STRIX wireless headset, and that just hangs nicely on the headphone hanger, which just sits at this side of my shelving, this side of my drawers, nice close reach to the desk, which is really conveniently placed. These headphones are super comfortable, and although they're originally a headset over ear, quite big, but very good sound quality in these indeed. Now, in terms of the desk, it's from IKEA. It's about £45 for the top and the legs, which is incredible value, but unfortunately it wouldn't fit in the car, given how big it is as a corner desk, which meant I had to pay IKEA's really preposterous £30 delivery charge, about $40 over in the US, which is just ludicrous, but it was still the cheapest place to get a desk from, so I can't really moan too much. At the moment, people may say it's a bit minimalistic, there's not enough stuff on there. During schoolwork, revision time, that sort of thing, having enough desk real estate for paper and a laptop, for example, is really important, and that's why I like to have enough space on there. Of course, I also have a couple of YouTube staples, shall we say. I've got the IKEA fake plant, and I'll even link those in the description because that's just the kind of guy I am. And I also have an IKEA cube with like the temperature and stuff on it, so that I can moan on Twitter about the weather, whether it's too hot or too cold, because in Britain it's either one of the two. Finally, of course, is the PC. Now, I'm not really going to touch on this too much, given it's a bit of a dire state at the moment. Currently, I'm using an i7-6800K with a GTX 750 Ti. Yeah, it's complicated. Premiere Pro, which is my editing software, just won't work with anything else at the moment. And I've actually got a couple of series coming up where I'm going to be building my new editing PC with a Ryzen 7 CPU. I've also got 64 gigs of RAM. I'm building a 10 gigabit server and a whole host of really fun stuff like that. So do keep your eye out for that. However, for the time being, the PC is just a bit of an embarrassment, so just hold out for those series. But that basically wraps up. I do hope you like the setup. I do hope you like what I've gone for, what I've achieved with this. It is quite a while in the making, and I'm hoping to do more iterations of this in the future, especially when I've got my new video editing workflow and new PCs configured. If you did like this video though, do smash that like button, and as always, subscribe, turn notifications on so you never miss another video, and follow me on Twitter at GeekaWhat if you want to hear more of my crap. But as always, we'll see you in the next GeekaWhat video.